Hey everyone, and welcome. So let me ask you something. Have you ever had this amazing idea at work? A project you just knew would be a home run, but you couldn't get anyone to listen? You feel like you have all this responsibility, but absolutely none of the formal authority to make things happen. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then this is for you. Today we're going to break down how you can lead even when you're not officially the one in charge.
This single sentence from John Kotter's classic, Power and Influence, man, it just nails it. The old top-down, because I said so model of management is pretty much on its way out. Why? Because work has gotten way too complex for any one person to have all the answers. These days, success really depends on cooperation, and well, that's where things start to get tricky.
Okay, so this brings us to the core idea here, the power gap. Think of it as that frustrating space between what you're expected to do and the actual authority you have on the org chart. And if you've ever felt this, I want you to know you are not alone. This isn't some personal failing. It's actually a built-in feature of most modern companies. And you know what? It's exactly in that gap where the real work of leadership begins.
So why does this power gap even exist? I mean, why has work become this tangled web of dependencies? Well, it's not really about having difficult coworkers. It's about two huge underlying forces that have completely changed the game in the modern workplace.
Here they are. First up, diversity. And we're not just talking about the usual stuff. We're talking about a diversity of goals, of values, of training. Just think about it for a second. The way the finance team sees the world is fundamentally different from how the creative team sees it, right? And second, there's interdependence. Our jobs are more connected than they have ever been. A programmer needs marketing, marketing needs sales, sales needs finance. Nobody works in a silo anymore. These two forces are constantly bumping up against each other.
And wow, this just shows you the shift perfectly. We used to have this clean, simple pyramid on the left, where you knew exactly who your boss was. Now we live in the complex, sometimes messy network on the right. Your success no longer just depends on your boss. It depends on dozens of people all across the organization, people you have no formal authority over.
So here's the simple, totally unavoidable formula. When you take a whole bunch of different people with different goals and you make them all depend on each other to get their work done, what do you get? Conflict. It's just inevitable. Now, I don't mean nasty, angry conflict, but a constant tension over priorities, resources, and direction. The real question isn't how to avoid it, it's how you choose to deal with it.
So when we're faced with this constant push and pull, most of us tend to fall into one of two traps. We adopt a certain mindset that seems to make sense on the surface, but in the long run, it just doesn't work. Let's call them the naive view and the cynical view.
On one side, you've got the naive person. They truly believe that a great idea and just working really hard should be enough to get things done. They're wearing those rose-colored glasses, and they are always shocked when they run into political roadblocks. Then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have the cynics. They see everything as just a selfish, backstabbing political game. They're so distrustful, they end up isolating themselves, refusing to play the game at all. Does either of those sound familiar? Here's the kicker. Both roads lead straight to frustration.
This quote right here, it just brings that cynical trap to life. It's talking about a character from the book named Andrea, a super talented copywriter. She is brilliant, but she's become so jaded about office politics that she's basically built a fortress around herself. She sees enemies everywhere instead of potential allies. And you know what happens? Her great ideas just die on the vine. Sound like anyone you know?
So, if being naive means you're just going to get run over, and being a cynic means you'll end up totally isolated, what's left? Well, Kotter argues there's a third path. It's a much more sophisticated approach that looks at the reality of how organizations work without giving in to that dark, cynical view. Let's see what that actually looks like.
And the key is to build what Kotter calls unofficial power. Now, this requires a total mental shift. You have to stop thinking about power as just your title on the org chart. Instead, think of power as the influence you earn. It comes from your expertise, from the strength of your relationships, from your reputation for being someone who delivers. This unofficial power, that's the currency you use to bridge the power gap.
Okay, so you're probably asking, how do I actually get this stuff? Well, you have to be intentional. You've got to map out the social landscape of your company. Who are the key players? You have to proactively build trust and goodwill with your colleagues, even people you don't work with every day. Consistently deliver results to build up that rock-solid reputation, and of course, sharpen your communication and negotiation skills. The cool thing is, anyone can do this, no matter what your job title is.
Now, theory is great and all, but let's look at a real-world kind of cautionary tale.
This is the story of a guy who was technically brilliant, just off the chart smart, but he completely missed the whole relationship part of the equation, and let me tell you, it cost him everything.
So, meet Jerry. He's a really talented programmer, and he has this incredible idea for a new medical device. He gets the initial okay from his bosses to go ahead and develop a prototype. He's excited, he's motivated, and he puts his head down, focusing completely on the technical work.
But then, look what happens. His project starts getting starved of resources, almost like a slow-motion car crash. First, engineering pulls his main collaborator. Then manufacturing just drags its feet on getting him cost estimates. And the final nail in the coffin? A senior sales exec who felt threatened by Jerry's idea quietly convinces marketing to put out a negative forecast. Just like that, the project is dead. And Jerry, he quits, totally furious and completely blindsided. All that work, just gone.
So, what did Jerry miss? It wasn't a flaw in the technology. His idea was solid. What he missed was the entire human dimension of his project. He never once stopped to think about whose cooperation he actually needed, who might push back, and, most importantly, why they might push back. He just worked hard. He didn't lead.
This is the playbook Jerry should have had. It's 4 simple steps. First, identify your key dependencies. Literally, make a list of everyone you need to get your job done. Second, assess the landscape. Who are your allies? Who might be a blocker? And try to get inside their head. What are their goals and pressures? Third, and this is huge, proactively develop those relationships. Grab coffee, learn about their work long before you ever need to ask them for something. And finally, strategize. Think ahead about how you'll handle resistance, because trust me, it's gonna happen. It's all about being strategic, not just being busy.
I just love this quote because it sums up the entire challenge so perfectly. This effective third path. It's not easy. It's not the sunny, yellow brick road of the naive person, and it's not the dark mugger's lane of the cynic. It's a harder road. It's a more thoughtful road, and it requires skill, awareness, and frankly, a lot of perseverance. And that really brings us to the final and most important question. I want you to think about your own job, your own projects, your own frustrations. Which path are you on? Are you walking down that yellow brick road, just hoping good things will happen? Are you stuck down in that mugger's lane, assuming the worst of everyone around you? Or are you trying to find that narrow, more effective path in between? The choice really is yours.